Hey guys, I've got Jesse here from MBRP, and today we've got a brand new exhaust system for the 2020 and newer Jeep Gladiator. Now Jesse, you told me this is the MBRP Black Series Dual Exit Exhaust. Can you tell me a little bit more about this exhaust, some of the benefits of it?
Sure. Well, this is a catback, and you'll notice that the tubing on it's quite a bit larger than the factory stuff. We start with a 3-inch front section and then go into 2.5-inch tailpipes. This being our Black Series is an aluminized system that we actually coat the back half of it.
Okay.
So it's got like a nice, unique sort of finish. Finishes off with some black tips.
See, the muffler here and this front section is going to be aluminized steel, but then the rest, being black like that, you won't really see it under the vehicle, which gives it a nice clean look.
Correct.
So I think it'll look nice underneath our Gladiator. Plus ours is the Overland, so it's kind of more of a street vehicle. It's got the leather inside, some more of the creature comforts. You do offer though a single exit, kind of a crawler rear exhaust, which we did just do an install. So if you guys want to check that out, that one's definitely a high tuck, ready for the trail. This one's going to be perfect for the street and some mild off-roading too as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, let's get it on, see how it sounds. I'm really excited to throw this on and see how those dual tips look on our Gladiator.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. So the first bolt that we have to remove is this front one that comes off of the front section of the pipe and holds on to the rear mid-pipe section. That's gonna be a 13mm socket up top. I'm gonna use a power ratchet to make it a little bit quicker. All you have to do is loosen this up and then it'll pop off the tab when we go to remove the exhaust, but that'll be later. Then there's gonna be two 13mm bolts that hold on the bracket onto the mid-pipe here. I'm gonna pull it off, that way we don't have to struggle pulling the exhaust hanger out of the post and all that through there, so just remove the bracket in itself. Okay, now what we'll do is remove the last two bolts that hold on the muffler section of the exhaust. You don't need to do the center section, just the rear and the front. And now we can pull the exhaust off. Okay guys, so the next step in this process would be to drop the spare tire, the tire shield, and then lower the bolt on the track bar in order to get this exhaust off and keep it in one piece. In our case, we're not gonna be going back to stock anytime at all, so we're just gonna go ahead and sawzall it right off to make it easier for us. But if you guys do wanna keep this in case you ever wanna go back to stock, make sure to drop the rear tire, drop the heat shield on that tire, and then just lower the lower bolt of the track bar, pull that off, and then it should slide all through for you, but we're just gonna hack it up and get rid of it. We're gonna put the front pipe exactly like this onto the ball seal right on the front and get that just snugged up. You don't want to tighten up anything until it's done, right, Jesse? That way we can still move everything around and get in the right spot.
That's correct. Yeah, we're putting a 3-inch pipe where there used to be like 2-inch pipes. So, I mean, you want to keep it pretty loose the entire time until we get ready to snug it all down when we're done.
Okay, so we've got this one on here. We should probably reinstall that bracket that we removed prior on the factory exhaust. I'm just gonna go ahead and set this back into place. Put the two 13mm bolts back into it. Jesse's gonna use this power tool and get it tightened up. This isn't directional at all?
This guy is not directional.
Okay. So you can put it on either way, whichever way makes you happy, I guess. Okay. All right, Jesse, so tell me about this clamp and what you've got going on there.
So this is our patent pending, we call it the hang tight. So
okay.
Instead of welding, a hanger onto a muffler, onto a pipe, which, is sometimes a failure prone, especially on where there's, places that stress or there's a lot of flex. We've actually got a really cool play on our clamp right here, where basically we have a keyhole slot and we put the hanger onto this plate right here, and it allows us actually to slide right on to the band clamp. And we've got a nice sturdy clamp that will last for years.
Wow, that's pretty neat. And plus it's all in one piece there, so you just still tighten down your band clamp bolt.
That's correct. And kind of an unintended consequence was that it actually allows quite a bit of fine tuning of the exhaust. So you can kind of rotate the clamp and get it as high or as low as you'd really like. And it allows you to kind of, put that last little bow on the presentation, if you will, when you're installing an exhaust.
Well, that's cool. Let's throw that in. You can show them how to do that right on that last section there.
All right.
Okay, so it just goes right into the factory location. that's the clamp there, so then we can just work on to the next pipe. And
that's correct, yeah.
That's gonna hold there for now. Okay, cool, works good. Let's move on. Now Jesse is gonna remove that rear hanger off of the cross member. We didn't have to do that to remove the factory exhaust, but to make it a lot easier for you, just go ahead and zip that off. It takes a 13 mil socket. Okay, now since Jesse and I are both a little bit shorter, we've employed the use of Brendan to tighten up that top bracket there that we removed. Thank you, Brendan, for stepping in with your height. Now we're gonna reconnect the hang type bracket that is patented by MBRP into the 3-inch band clamp and get that all hooked up. All right, so we got the driver's side piece on, Jesse's holding it up. Now the driver's side is gonna be the shorter of the two pieces, and you're gonna use this factory hanger that we pulled off in the removal. That's gonna slide on the post, and then that's gonna key up into place. Then we're gonna tighten these down with a 13 millimeter socket. Now the next step is what we're gonna do is slide the bolt through the frame rail so it drops down in this hole. Now that hole is gonna hold the bracket, which holds the exhaust hanger so you can get the second tip. Now keep in mind that MBRP had designed all this because Jeeps didn't come equipped on the Gladiator with a dual exhaust. This is probably the most simple design when thinking about an option to hold the other passenger side tailpipe up onto the frame. And then we'll put the exhaust hanger on with the hanger facing towards the front of the vehicle as well as the L bracket there. Install a lock washer and then a regular nut. And then just by holding inside there, since we are using a lock washer, you should be able to tighten it pretty much all the way by hand. And then we'll just zip it down using a 15 millimeter socket. So we've got the clamp installed, and Jesse is going to install the passenger side pipe onto that over axle section and then into this hanger on the back. So it may sound a little bit tedious, and it will be a little bit of just a little bit of a fight to get it on there, but it can be done, trust me and trust Jesse. Now after you get everything snug on there and you make sure it's good all the way up front, you're gonna go back and retighten everything. The MBRP bolts are gonna take a 15 mil to get all the band clamps tightened, then the ball seal up front is gonna be a 13 millimeter socket to get that one tightened, but it's good to have everything on and in place before you go and do anything to make a final tighten on it.
One of the last things we're gonna do is actually install the tips. Now, tip location's kind of a personal preference. Some people like them shoved kind of way up underneath the bumper. Some of them like kind of flush with the edge. I usually kind of cut the baby in half and kind of put them sort of halfway through the bumper. But that's gonna be the last thing we do actually after we've snugged up all the pipes up front.
After you have all the clamps tightened, we're gonna take it out on the road and see how it sounds. All right, Jesse, that was a pretty easy installation after we figured out how those tailpipes went. But overall, I'm really happy that the back end you guys did that black series. I think it looks really clean with the dual tip. What do you think about this exhaust, and who's it going to benefit the most? Like, what type of Jeeper would this be for?
I mean, this is definitely more for like your weekend cruiser guy. It's not obviously the high tuck, high clearance system like we installed earlier. But I mean, it's still gonna provide like a little bit more sound, a little more rumble. Obviously, it's got some aesthetics that are beneficial. So you get, you know, kind of a tailpipe where there wasn't one before. And let's be honest, the factory unit is not good looking at all. It's kind of a weird muffler kind of hanging, you know, oddly below the bumper. So this cleans up the rear end quite a bit.
Yeah, I think what you said too about the factory exhaust, there were so many resonators and different mufflers on there, plus the back tailpiece. They almost painted it like a matte black, so it really sticks out and is ugly there on the side. This is more like a satin, and it really matches the Jeep. I can barely see the pipes, to be honest, underneath there. But overall, I really like the dual tip design of it. It was a super simple installation. Plus, there are options for the, you know, everyday driver and the true hardcore off-road enthusiast from MBRP. And if you guys want to check those out, be sure to check us out at cjponyparts.com. But Jesse, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
For sure. Hope you enjoyed that video. To stay up to date on our CJ Off-Road videos, make sure to subscribe up top here. And for any other installs, make sure to click the link right above.